We take a lot of things for granted when we look at science, like things as simple as the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. And we talked about that on the first day, and we're like, how do we really know that it's 2 pi r? And so what we did is we would actually take a string and put it around a circle, and we would try and measure how long that was. But there was no way to put the string like exactly along the circle without like little parts of it going in and off it. So we had to put like pins on the circle, put around that, and we couldn't, like, there was no number of pins, I guess, that would get us the exact right answer. So we had to keep on experimenting and finding new ways and solutions to figure out problems just so we could actually learn the basics of what we think we know.
There's a difference between learning about science and learning to do science. In school, I think too often we teach kids about science, we don't teach kids science. You want to do science, go play with stuff, it won't work, it'll break, there'll be times when you'll be frustrated. We want all that. We have no particular learning objectives that we have to get through these things. We can just play with science ideas.
The CD has like a lot of little ridges in it, and they're really tiny. Like you can't even see them, you can't really feel them at all, but we know that they're there. But how do we know? I guess back to the original question. And so we talked about light diffraction. And so we learned today that when you shine a laser onto such tiny ridges like these, the light will diffract, and it comes off at different angles, which is why we use the protractor for it. And there's a formula which we can use to show exactly how far apart the ridges are from one another.
Because a lot of the things that we're trying to go for here, people may not have a lot of experience with. I mean, it's very likely that no one was thinking, I've always wondered how an electron microscope works every day, and now finally here we have a chance to use it. Or, I've always wondered why light diffracts in a CD. We're giving people, I think, exposure, hopefully, to stuff they haven't seen before, or not very often, or not in this way, not in a hands-on way.
I came into this camp as more of a mathematically minded person over scientific, and I guess I look at things like more like theoretically than like using experiments and things. So it was kind of cool to actually bust out the old graph book and actually make graphs and things. We did all sorts of stuff at this camp, which I guess opened up new doors which I had never even seen about careers which I could go into with science. So it definitely did expose me to some new things.